This episode is brought to you by Ford. Why is being open to new roads and possibilities essential to success when chasing your goals? For me, it's so important to pivot. It's imperative to allow yourself the freedom to change course at any moment when your energy is shifting. When you literally pivot, doors open up, opportunities fall on your lap, and you have so much more time to spend with your loved ones and with yourself. So break free from your day-to-day and start enjoying the little things in life that truly bring you joy. On the road of reinventing ourselves, it's just as vital to find those little things in life that give you a sense of stability, like the new Explorer. You know there's more to discover, and the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV is here to give you space for the things that matter most. It's time to break free from the norm, which has never been more fun and accessible for drivers with the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV. Turn up the adventure with Ford Digital Experience, including a 13.2-inch center touchscreen. Do what matters with the help of available Ford Blue Cruise driver assist technology for hands-free highway driving. Available feature on Blue Cruise equipped vehicles. Blue Cruise requires a connected service plan and a modem activation. Blue Cruise drive assist features can be activated in hands-free blue zones and do not replace safe driving, and drivers need to control the vehicle. See Ford.com/Blue Cruise for more details on available plans and hands-free models. Start your next adventure in America's all-time best-selling SUV. Based on S&P Global Mobility, 1946 current U.S. total, new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs. The new Ford, well, you know what it is. It's on the name, the new 2025 Ford Explorer, built Ford proud.
I don't know what's going to happen next, but yeah. So what now? Welcome back to another episode of the So What Now podcast with your host.
It's me, Carla. Hey, girl.
And Dex. You are so extra. Hey. You were in a mood today.
I am. I feel good. I feel
you
good.
You look happy and healthy.
Healthy too?
Yes.
Thank you, because we're going to talk about health.
Yes, because it's March and it's Women's Health Month.
It is. So I am the epitome of it. Look at right here.
Yeah, you look very healthy. You look like you've been eating right and walking and all the things.
Have it.
What have you been doing? Let's just catch up real quick.
Okay. I think one of the quick catch-ups for me this week is, I think I talked about it before on a few episodes ago, Let Them. Mel Robbins, the Let Them theory. So I've been reading the Let Them theory. I'm almost done with it. And it was a big practice of it this weekend.
Okay.
That I had to with Ayana.
Oh, yeah.
I know. It's a big deal. Nothing really bad. Honestly, it's just, as a parent, you want to shield your kids. And there's a whole chapter on let them as a parent and as a parent of an older child, because you're no longer in the where you tell them what to do. Now it's relationship with them, right? And trying to build that. So I had to say, although I wanted to pull my hair out and like, my instinct was to keep her at home. Give me your phone, give me your iPad, give me your keys. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing this, and that's it. And as she was telling me about it, I was like, okay. Yeah. And she sat there on the toilet and she was like, you're not going to scream at me? You're not going to say no? Like, you're not mad? And I said, well, what you want me to do?
Yeah.
So you're asking me for money? She said, no. I said, well, then, good luck.
Yeah.
On what you're doing. So in that same breath, if you need your nails done in Orlando, Florida, my daughter got a suite. Support her.
Yeah, go get your hair and nails done at Ayana's Beauty.
Sky Beauty Palace.
Yeah.
It's her suite is on Orange Avenue.
We got to make the rent.
We got to make that rent. It's steep. But I know with your help, anybody you get in Orlando, Florida, you've come to Disney World, you're going to need them nails. That she does great nails, really great pedicures. So Sky Beauty Palace. That's how I can support her. And she'll go from there.
Well, this empty nester has just been focusing on herself and focusing on my health. I'm back doing prep and I'm getting ready for this race. I don't know.
Food. Prep is also a pill.
Oh no, not that prep.
Prep. Just in case we have.
Yeah. So it's almost like a bodybuilder prep, but it's a meal plan and a workout plan. And it's going to be 16 weeks. I'm also getting ready for something called a High Rocks race in Miami that's going to take place in April. So
can I come support with a sign?
Yes, please come support.
Okay.
It's going to be so fun. We're going to make like a whole weekend out of it.
Okay. I'm going to be on the sidelines, drinking, smoking with my sign.
You can't do that there. Afterwards, you can do it.
Oh.
After the event, you can do that.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
But yeah, it's March is Women's Health Month. So like you should get in on this. You should
get in on what?
Some sort of healthy movement.
Oh, I thought you meant get on that. No, I am. I told you I'm doing Pilates on Mondays. I downloaded the app and paid for it.
I love it.
And eventually, maybe I'll go back to Courtney.
And we bumped into Courtney this weekend, so I think it's meant to be. I think you need to hit her up for personal training sessions.
I don't know.
So because it's March, is Women's Health Month.
Well, it's just Women's Month. All the way around.
Right, yeah. We want to focus on health. We have our second guest ever on the So What Now podcast. We have Coach Netra here in the building. Yes.
Guest number 2. Uh-oh, okay.
Yes. It's very exclusive.
Clearly.
To be a guest on
These
our
gates
show.
don't open very lightly.
Clearly. And I'm excited about it.
Okay, so Netra is a certified nutrition and lifestyle coach focusing on women. Okay.
That's it. Not these niggas. Women.
Netra, excuse us. Netra is such a lady.
I love it. I love
Sorry.
it.
Let it fly.
We're gonna be ourselves.
No, me like we got guests in the
fly.
house.
Yeah,
At least for the first 10 minutes.
Company. We got
Sorry.
company. But I wanted to have
Keep
Netra
it.
here today because I've known Netra for a couple of years now, and she's had such a positive impact on my life.
You talk about her all the time.
I've talked about. Listen,
Look at that. Netra, I know.
No, I'm not gonna cry.
What's crazy? I didn't know what you looked like because I think she showed me your page maybe one time or something like that. But Netra this, Netra that, Netra that. I said, well, who the fuck is this Netra? And what did she do for me?
I'm gonna tell you though.
She loves you.
Before my birthday last year, I always used to be like, oh, I look up to Netra. I admire Netra. When I get her age, I want to be like that. It wasn't until last year I realized we're basically the same age.
I'm like, wait.
And not even realize I accepted.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're basically the same age as
It's
Netra. You need to
not
cut it
that
out
far
and
away.
get your life together now.
Look.
You can't keep saying when you
When you
get
get
older,
that.
you're going to be like Netra.
Right, no.
You are
Because
Netra's
FYI,
age.
you close.
Get it together. Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to push you close to 50. We just turned 40. 40.
Yeah.
I'm close to 50.
Yeah.
I'm pushing the door.
But basically,
What's close?
I'm 49.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
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 You can see the dough.
And
Deck's
you-
still right there. We still right
Yes,
there.
we're still
Deck's
right
saying
there.
like she's
And-
30.
Exactly. In my mind.
You can't tell her
You
she's
can't
not.
make some days 25, honey. Some days it's giving 25. But I wanted to have Netra on because she's had such a positive impact on my life. I've learned so much from Netra.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to help you guys.
And she made you Woman of the Week.
Yes. So you are our woman of the week.
Yes.
So, oh yeah, we should have got flowers. We'll give them to you eventually. I'll bring them to the gym tomorrow.
That's all right.
Flowers
This is it right here. I love it.
Flowers
I love it.
die.
Right.
This is what flowers really is because
This
I
is
know
it
we
right
love
here.
flowers
Mhm.
and we bring them and then it's like a token of physically showing them to you. But I just met you today for the first time. But trust me that however you've impacted her, I've heard about it and I've never heard anything negative.
Yeah.
Like ever. Everything's been like, Netra.
Yeah.
My
And I
Netra.
tell her stuff too. She might not
She
do
do.
it, but she knows the Netra way. Like she's heard some of the Netra way.
I
It's
do.
all right. We're gonna get it right.
I be
This is what
trying.
happens.
So we're so happy to have you.
I told you I
I'm
wanted to hire her for
excited.
Ayana.
Yeah. So what we want to, I think what we're going to call this segment, today's show, we never even announced it, but you came up with this. It's so cute. It's sis, you're not 25 anymore.
Oh, I like it.
This is your nutrition wake up call.
Yep.
I like
So I want to spend a couple minutes talking about what happens to our bodies as we start to age. Maybe once we hit that 30, 35 mark, because I remember there was a time where we would be like, we going on vacation. So 2 weeks before we just hit the gym.
That's
We didn't even diet.
Dex.
We ate whatever and we'd be
As
snatched.
long as I went to the Stairmaster, I'll never forget. I have pictures of it, so maybe I'll send them to you,
yes.
Kason. I had a picture when I went to Vegas,
Mhm.
and for the month prior to leaving to Vegas, I did the Stairmaster every day after work. This is when I had a job. I can't think about it. I would leave the job and go and do an hour, watch an
That's all I do.
episode.
Yeah.
I was so snatched for Vegas. You can
Yes.
tell me. I was like basically in a thong out there. You know I don't do that.
Yes.
I was outside with crop tops and all this. I try to do that now for 6 months. I'm still looking crazy.
And not lose a pound.
No-
So what is that, Netra? Are we paying for our sins or is our body changing?
I love it. So, first of all, I love it because I talk about that all the time. When people are in their 20s, it almost doesn't matter what you do. So sometimes when I'm working with clients who may be younger, I'm like, listen, talk to me again when we like 40 and 50.
Right.
Because when you're telling me this is hard right now, no,
Yeah.
it is not hard. Most people are in a place where they usually they already fit, they already got good muscle tone. It doesn't, all it takes, a little cardio, we just shedding a little water off the top. That's
Yeah.
all you're doing when you're young.
Mhm.
So you can literally diet for a week or don't diet at all. And to your point, just get on a Stairmaster, run a little bit and be ready.
well, I didn't know
Right.
that. I used to just starve myself for a week.
That's
and
what it
I
takes.
was six pack.
And most people, this is what then translates to is in their 30s, they think they could do that again. No, because now real life is hit. I always say to people, this when your real responsibility show up, when people in their 30s. But also in the 20s, you still too close to college age where you hanging, you move, you doing a lot. Your steps like 25,000, 30,000 steps a day. You moving.
We
And
wasn't
each-
on
right,
the
you
couches in the
out.
club.
Yeah.
That was
You
a
out.
workout.
Yeah.
And so every year that people get closer to 30, that activity stops because this is also when potentially people got married or they started having kids. And then it's like, uh-oh, I'm in my career. Your activity just started to get less. And then all of a sudden you're in your 30s and you think, man, I just can't handle it like I used to. My body isn't doing the same thing. And it's not necessarily that metabolically something has changed. No, your activity, your life changed so dramatically. You just don't notice because you ripping and running. It's a different type of ripping and running. So you're not doing the same things. And then you fast forward to people 40. Activity almost is shutting down for most people.
That's true.
So all of a sudden, people associate getting older with getting heavier. It's just that your activity changed too much. And then people feel like, well, I never used to have to do it. And they fight so much around, I didn't have to do
I want
it.
to
It
do what I
really
had
doesn't
was able to do
matter.
before.
But you're not in the club.
You're
You're not
not.
chasing these
The
boys
thing is,
around.
you did do those things. It just looked different. And now it's so much more intentional to get back to a same level of activity that most people have been doing since they've been 10 years old.
Now that I think about it, there's so many 20s-year-olds that are overweight or unhealthy or in all these things, but it's because they don't
do anything.
They're not as active as we used to be.
No.
They're on the computer.
Yeah.
They're
They're not
doing
outside. You
social-
think about when you were a kid, we stayed outside. I know for
we
me,
wanted to be outside.
I never was inside. You bikes, you running, you doing everything. And so when you're thinking from elementary all the way up to probably somebody's literally 26, that level of activity is high.
Yeah.
And then you take into account if somebody was an athlete, that's a whole different level of activity. Then you snatch it all away.
Yeah.
And then that weight is coming. Oh, shoot, it's creeping so quickly. You're like, I don't understand. And then you're struggling. And then it keeps putting people in this
it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's a literal mind fuck.
You're like, what happened here?
So Netra, I know you're saying the activity is slowing down, and when I'm thinking about it, it actually has. But I think when you're in the moment, you don't feel like the activity slowed down because as a mom, you're always like, I don't have time.
You're busy.
As you're a mom and a professional, you're like, I don't have time. So what do you
driving
say to
kids
people
around.
to the women who feel like they literally don't have time?
And I would tell you, it's funny because I'm going to give you an example. One of my clients today on my way here, she is an entrepreneur. She's married, but she has 4 children. She's 36.
Oh.
But it's the family they wanted, right? Everything she dreamed about.
Right,
the money is right. Both
the
of them.
husband is fine. The
everything
kids
is
healthy,
right. That's what we wanted. But the life is so challenging because she's like, I don't have enough time. And I'm like, but remember, this is the life you asked for. So you can't look at it negatively. And so for her, it's I don't go to sleep ever. But we make these concessions around, I don't have time. We all have time for what we want to have time for. And I know some people may be listening right now saying she doesn't understand. Oh, I understand fully. Well, I was that person who, when I was that age, already had an older child, a younger child, a husband. I was a VP. I had all those things already, 80 hours a work week. At night, I used to call it second shift. Plus all my kids was in sports. And so this is the point. Like you have to be able to say what's important to you. And most people realize they need to go to sleep. They realize they need to eat. But unfortunately, we don't believe that you have to actually prioritize and intentionally do those things because you think it should just happen by itself. It doesn't happen by itself.
No.
And we've never had to prioritize it that way. So most ladies will truly just prioritize kids, work, profession, and a spouse or a partner, significant other. And everything else will be falling by the wayside. But the difference is men are very good at compartmentalizing. And that's why so many ladies feel like my husband doesn't care or my partner doesn't care. No, they think differently and they will compartmentalize it away and they will always take care of them first and you second. Right? They will.
They will.
And
Yeah.
it's not a negative. And y'all, it's not a negative thing. It's just they have found out in order for them to be successful, they have to do them first. And then they're going to come be better for you.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't.
That's
And
what
men
we've
do
been
it every day. But ladies, that desire to feel needed and all these things has you really like, I hate the body I'm looking at. I've got ladies who literally don't want boyfriends, husbands to see them with no clothes on. Everything is in the dark. And I promise you, I've been working with ladies for over 25 years. And you want to talk about the things that can ruin your confidence, ruin your relationship, ruin your sex life, ruin all the things. because you over here thinking about how you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not confident, and everything else will keep trickling down. And the only thing you'll have is my job or my business, my profession. That doesn't sustain you. That's not who you are. That's just something you do.
And then you end up getting sick.
Yes,
And it's like,
and
what
then
happens
what?
with the job?
Then what?
Yeah, so one thing, I think you had it on your social media one time or something, or maybe it's just something that I learned from interacting with you directly. It's like with that, I don't have the time. You have to literally set yourself up for success and create the time. So if you are going from 8 to 6 because of your career, your kids, then 5 o'clock is that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like
People
if
don't
your
wanna hear
kids,
that.
People don't want to do it.
They don't want to do that.
I promise you.
If your
people
kids
all the
have
time.
sports and you don't have time during the day while they on that track running, you be over here running too.
Yes.
Get your you
You
have
got to
to
do it.
You're right. You said like it doesn't just happen. You
It's a
have to-
mindset.
you have to plan it out and to be successful.
And so many people think like, I shouldn't have to do that. That's too hard. Life is hard. Nobody ever said that it wasn't going to be. But if you want it to be right for you, you're going to have to make some concessions around what you think is important and how you're going to do it. I always say there's like a good, better, best. Or there's an ideal scenario and then there's the reality. And the reality of it is we may not want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Never do.
But the reality is that's the time I have available, period. And when people keep saying, well, I don't want to, I don't like to, then what you're telling me is you don't like to feel good about yourself because you don't want to make any adjustments. Or it will just be, well, I'm going to try to do it at 5:30. But you know full well the conference call that's going to be added to your schedule. Your kids are going to need something different. You're going to have to drive them to sports. Oh, wait. My boyfriend, my husband, my significant other, they are late. So now I have to do the thing that they were supposed to do. And now you got left behind.
Yeah.
And then you're upset.
Before we continue with the conversation, I want to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Hi Hello Labs, a full-service content creation studio serving clients across the nation. One thing I am not is a gatekeeper, and this is where I record my audio and video podcast right here in Orlando, Florida, at their beautiful studio, because at Hi Hello Labs, they're on a mission to amplify expert voices. They facilitate the turnkey production and distribution of quality podcasts like the one you're listening to right now. They also produce digital courses, social media content, and live events. Nobody else does it like them, seriously, when it comes to live events. If you want to increase your reach and establish yourself as a thought leader, Hi Hello Labs is the studio for you. So go ahead and magnify your influence with Hi Hello Labs. Let's get back to the show.
So you just said something, life is hard, and we've all heard this before. Choose your hard. Do you want to choose your hard while waking up at 5:30 and feeling better? Or do you want to choose your hard of constantly saying, I don't like my body?
You want to choose your diabetes?
Let me tell you something. You want to choose how you want to spend these dollars. You want to choose how you live this life.
We say that all the time. It's like, oh, life is hard. Choose your hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to choose the hard
That's a
where
good
I'm
one.
sick or taking a bunch of medications. That shit is hard too.
Yeah.
Like how much you're paying on what's it called? Health insurance and all that stuff. That shit is hard too.
Yeah. I would tell people every day, because that's my quote. I always say choose your hard. But one of those hards leads down to a road that you're going to love. And the other one just going to keep getting worse and worse.
That's the thing right
So
there.
you're going to have to decide, are you going to walk through this fire? Because no matter what, each of us going to have to walk through the fire to get there. There is no easy route. No matter what we do, it's not easy. But this easy over here leads you to the life you want. But over here, it's just, it's
And
gonna take
we're
you down
not
the road.
designed, and I want to say this because in the time that we're not designed to be taking all these pills and shots and supplements that are not natural. Our bodies are designed by God to work in this beautiful way that a human can't even understand. And I'm saying this as your pod fatty. You know what I'm saying? I love to eat. I love them French fries. I love all of that. But it's like the second, if I were to hear, and it's crazy because I know that you like fast food.
Yeah.
The only thing that I've always told you that saves me is the fact that I love to cook. So I'm like, food is not usually processed. Although shit in the grocery store, a lot of it is not the greatest anyway. But anyway, besides the point, I don't want to get to a point where I go and I'm being told I have diabetes or I have high blood pressure, I have cholesterol because I made the wrong choices. It's like it's up to us. And that, I'll just take a pill for this or I'll just take a shot for this. That's not for us either. Yours might be hereditary. It's very possible. But are there ways for us to be able to change it or fix it or slow it down? Yes. So as you're listening to this, yes, we're attacking you. But with love. We're attacking ourselves too. It's a little attack, but it's a wake up call. Come on, it's 2025. We've been saying this because we're not 25 anymore.
No.
So you've been saying this shit since 2020. You've been saying this since 2015.
Yes.
You've been saying this since 2010. We've been growing for a long time. And we keep saying we're going to do better and we don't do better.
Yeah.
You know, people hide behind it's hereditary, but I tell people every day, hereditary just is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the habits of families that get exposed. And no matter who you are, when people are young, youth is on your side to be healthy. But it doesn't last always. It doesn't matter who it is. You got people who think all they have to do is exercise it away.
No.
Listen, I work with people every day who seemingly were fit, who have a stroke tomorrow because they didn't address underlying issues. You have to look at what I like to call your gene expression. Everybody's body is going to show something different. Either you're going to have high sugar or you're going to show high cholesterol. You might have both, or you're going to have high pressure. Either way, you have to know your body and understand that when it's starting to signal and it expresses that way, you got to do something different. But people ignore it. Yes. Look, I love it. I love it.
I'm like, am I listening to her words or am I staring at her face and her skin?
Dead.
That's what they
Holy
do.
shit.
Like a new person comes to the gym. It's like, wait.
You be doing chemical peels every 6 weeks too?
Listen. Oh, and I guess we need to plug it because look, Carolyn Skin Spa.
Yeah, we go to the same.
Carolyn Med Spa.
Yeah. We do
Ladies want to play. Look.
Yeah.
That's not tweaking. That's not tweaking. That's keeping up with
we got
it.
to keep up with it. We got to keep good skin so that we could be makeup free.
Yeah. And while you're saying all this, we're going to just kind of like pivot into the part where it's like hormones, because you're saying hereditary and not hereditary.
Yes.
So sometimes it's like, oh, you're just being lazy, or is it my hormones or my genes? What does that really look like? Why we all feel so tired and exhausted and have our cortisol and sugar levels high? Like, what does that look like? Because we were just talking about that.
Because it's so popular now to hear the term, it's trendy to say people's hormones are out of whack. They're off. I promise you, y'all, ladies' bodies didn't all of a sudden just change and it's so different. It's just we more educated and we had the words, right? But that was still the same for your grandmas. It still was the same. But the difference is our lives are so filled with so much stress that we can see imbalances. But we also have to understand people eat so differently now. When you have so many like approaches, sometimes people eat no meat, then they'll eat meat. You know what? I'm going to be vegetarian for a while. I'm going to diet for a while. All of those inconsistencies create problems in your body where you are not healthy. And then you don't sleep. We got stress problems. You don't drink your water, all these things. It's like the holistic part of everything that you do. And then you start to see things kind of get out of whack. But it's not uncommon. No. At any point, anybody's hormones can be up and down. That's just part of life.
Me, mom was cooking, but y'all want to be outside.
Yes.
Eating bullshit.
It's the same for everybody. And depending on what phase, right? People have to remember menstrual cycle phases. You're going to always see ups and downs in the phase. But as people get older, we ignore the habits and we just say, hey, it's just a hormone problem and we're going to check every panel in the world. We're going to check all the hormone panels, all the thyroid panels. But the fact is, the majority of women, their hormones are in line because it's a range.
So I don't have a hormonal weight gain?
Nope. Listen, and
it was my hormones. This right here is my hormones.
It's not. And it gets a bad rap. And it even makes people think that they 20, 30 pounds at 45 or 50 is all because of peri and post. It's not.
Oh.
It's literally, studies will show it's only about 5 to 7 pounds that are truly about that. The rest is the life that has changed. The empty nester, I changed my job. I changed my profession. I stopped exercising completely. I'm sitting all day.
Yeah.
I sit for 14 hours, even though I go to the gym for an hour. Right? Because that's what people tell me every day. I go to the gym every day. Yeah, but you sit for 14 hours a day. And we never did that in life.
No,
there's not a time in anybody's life where they did that. And I promise, put people back on their feet and you see weight just start to move.
PCOS. Is that the same thing?
So that's different.
Because I feel like that's something I've been hearing
a lot.
So, everybody got PCOS now.
So the difference
like autism and PCOS. All out there.
And it's real. And so the difference is, this is where like PCOS wasn't something that existed at this level 20 years ago. And so that is where we look at environmental factors, that, food quality, scarcity of food that really does change hormone expression. And so PCOS for most ladies is that their testosterone is slightly higher than a normal woman.
Okay.
Nowhere near a man, everybody. Okay. Slightly higher. And that is indicative of anybody who has PCOS.
Okay.
So what it does is it usually causes them to have infrequent menstrual cycles. Okay. So they may go months without one, or it's like it'll last long, then they won't see one. And so it makes it hard for them to potentially have children. That's why many of them think they are infertile. No, it's just you have to work on getting something that is stable in your life. But then it also usually people with PCOS tend to have a little bit more body weight because their weight is starting to distribute like women in menopause, where it's going to start to go to the middle. So usually you see if somebody is on the larger side, you usually may see it's all top heavy. Okay. It's from belly up, because these are the areas that you would typically find in someone who is 55 or 60 with less estrogen and progesterone, slightly higher testosterone. So you see that body show up. But I promise they just have to do things differently.
Yeah.
Like
have a man pay their bills. Yeah. Very masculine.
They literally are individuals who can function on way less carbs. They usually are a little bit more insulin resistant. You can see them be carb sensitive, but they can function on a lot less carbs like men. And so that is what usually will help them get everything in line. Their carbs will be low. Like if we was on a cut, that's their normal every day, and they function just fine. They don't get tired. So I always say with PCOS, we have to use it to our advantage. Okay. Don't just ignore and think, oh, it's impossible. No, you actually have to do things very differently. Okay. And it'll help stop some of the other things that happen to women with PCOS, the extra hair and all that. It'll help diminish some of it.
One of the first things that they can start doing is lower their carbs and increase what?
Protein. You want to increase your protein, lower the carbs, and then they must exercise. They must exercise very frequently, and especially strength train. Okay. Which y'all gonna hear me say that again. None of us get to escape that.
Strength training?
Yep.
Strength training.
Nobody gets to escape
that. That kind of leads to one thing that I wanted to ask you, because I'm a TikTok scroller, and with the type of content that I like, TikTok will have me thinking I need to be on 20 different supplements. I need so many different things. I got to sleep 20 hours a day, but then I also got to walk 20 miles. And then I also need to do strength training, but then also I need to do a little bit of it's so much.
It's a lot.
If there was 3 to 5 things that you could tell every woman in their 30s, 40s, if you could only get these 3 to 5 things in, this is the priority across the board. What would that be?
The one thing for sure is you got to have a sleep ritual, because anybody who, no matter if you eat well, exercise well, if the sleep is just messed up, you're never going to see results, and you're going to still see health concerns. So got to get a sleep ritual. 2, prioritize protein, period. Whether you eat meat or you don't, you must prioritize protein. Those will be the things that are going to help you stay more satisfied. You're going to have better muscle mass. You're going to have better hormone balance and control. And you're going to have better metabolic health. People who are more protein heavy tend to have better cholesterol, better sugar, better pressure.
Is regular meat or the one that you don't?
You know what? Look.
What kind of meat we talking about? Because I'm deficient in the protein at the moment.
It's the kind we need. Yep.
Chicken breast.
Breast.
And then lastly, you got to get a weight training schedule. I know so many people feel like, well, I don't really like to lift weights. Well, listen, you may not like it, but you got to learn to love it. Okay. Because that is the one thing that's going to help you. I try to tell people, you got to think about what's happening now, but you got to look at what's happening when you're 50, 60, 70. And sometimes that feels so far away, but it's not.
We got here quick. I was talking to Gino last night. I said, because this year I turned 38. And I said, basically, I'm 40. There's not one person that you tell 38 to that thinks of 30s. They think of 40.
Yeah.
When you turn 40, you think of 50.
Exactly.
It's right there.
With the strength training, I think that is probably one of the main things that women don't want to do, because the first thing you'll hear is, I don't want to look masculine. I don't want to look bulky. So talk more about the importance of it and because you strength train.
Yes.
Strength train versus trying to be a bodybuilder. Or no, was it what I got to do?
Well, we'll talk about it.
The difference is, I think when we look at lifting weights, people always go to the most left extreme body. They will go to the woman who takes steroids for 15 years, that is massive, that actually does have male characteristics. That is so far from reality. For any lady who actually strength trains, it's taken us forever to look like we actually strength train. And so you shouldn't be afraid because ladies do not have the ability to look like men. Now, each of us has our preference. I think that sometimes that's what it is. Each of us has our preference on what we think toned is. Right. And I hear people say every day, I want to look toned. But the thing is, the only way for adults to look toned is you got to lift weights. Nobody's going to look and feel toned without lifting weights. Because that's the other part. For the ladies who don't want to look like they have visible muscles, they want to feel like it though. Nobody ever says, I want to feel like a marshmallow. Nobody says that.
I want to eat one. I don't want to feel like it.
Nobody says that. But that's what's happening. Nobody wants to be soft. Nobody. You might want to look soft and dainty, but you don't want to feel like it because that means things moving. That means things sagging. That means that's not what you want. And so we got to be clear. The only way you get it is by strength training.
Or a ton of cardio when the girl, because when I watch the Olympic long distance runner, they all look like crackheads.
Exactly.
Every single one of them, like long face, like skin. And it's like, holy, and it doesn't even look healthy.
It doesn't look healthy. And nobody ever says, oh my God, that's what I want to look like. When you give people, if people could show you pictures and they say, well, I want to look like it, they always pick people who look fit.
Lori Harvey.
People look fit.
And she's strength.
And she strength training because I promise though, if she didn't.
No, she do. And like Gabrielle Union and all this. She's young, right? Lori Harvey. But like Gabrielle Union and Halle Berry and all those, they're in the gym doing strength training.
Nobody escapes it.
So sleep, protein, strength
train.
Okay. And I don't need one of those shake plates that they selling on TikTok right now.
Listen, so those are wonderful. Look, I'm gonna look at every camera. They are wonderful.
You have a shake plate?
Yes. The reason why you use those. So first of all, listen, you know I got one. Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And so the thing is, those, I think most people associate them with like just cellulite, right? They at the spas. People put them, you get on them. They think it's just the lymphatic drainage part. No, it actually helps with bone density. That's what it's for. It will help you with getting rid of any excess water, but it will help you recover faster. And then it helps with your bones.
What about the stepper on TikTok? To sit at home.
Listen, I know that.
I can see that's the one that pop up for me all the time. The stepper.
Listen, if that's what it takes, that's fine too, because that's just keeping you moving. It's just upping them steps. I know the lady who show up in all the Facebook pages, all the Instagram with the short hair, right? She be on.
It's going.
Listen, that lady lost 30 pounds doing, I believe it, but because if you hear her story, she used to sit around all day. That's how she started working out. Just she needed to get on her feet.
I will say walking is like a
crazy
godsend.
It's a godsend.
I do. Yeah.
Yes.
Walking is like will
basic. Crazy. Something that we all can do.
This episode is brought to you by Ford. Why is being open to new roads and possibilities essential to success when chasing your goals? For me, it's so important to pivot. It's imperative to allow yourself the freedom to change course at any moment when your energy is shifting. When you literally pivot, doors open up, opportunities fall on your lap, and you have so much more time to spend with your loved ones and with yourself. So break free from your day-to-day and start enjoying the little things in life that truly bring you joy. On the road of reinventing ourselves, it's just as vital to find those little things in life that give you a sense of stability, like the new Explorer. You know there's more to discover, and the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV is here to give you space for the things that matter most. It's time to break free from the norm, which has never been more fun and accessible for drivers with the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV. Turn up the adventure with Ford Digital Experience, including a 13.2-inch center touchscreen. Do what matters with the help of available Ford Blue Cruise driver assist technology for hands-free highway driving. Available feature on Blue Cruise equipped vehicles, Blue Cruise requires a connected service plan and a modem activation. Blue Cruise drive assist features can be activated in hands-free Blue zones and do not replace safe driving, and drivers need to control the vehicle. See Ford.com/Blue Cruise for more details on available plans and hands-free models. Start your next adventure in America's all-time best-selling SUV. Based on S&P Global Mobility, 1946 current U.S. total, new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs. The new Ford, well, you know what it is. It's on the name, the new 2025 Ford Explorer, built Ford proud.
Okay, you want to go into some factor caps?
I want to do, we're calling it factor cap, factor fiction. Okay, I'm gonna
I
run through
like
a
cat
couple
because
of
we
them.
young.
I like
yeah,
cat.
girls
Okay,
say
cat.
cat.
Your son taught you what cat means.
Listen, I know what it is. Don't play these games.
Okay, so we just want your opinion on these things. So the first one is going to be intermittent fasting. Is it a scam? Should women 35 and older be doing it?
Okay, so listen, that is not a scam, but if you do not actually have an eating routine, I tell people every day, if you only eat once a day,
And it's McDonald's.
and right? Because people using intermittent fasting as a weight loss tool, it is not a weight loss tool.
Oh, okay.
That is a digestive cellular repair tool. So what's happening is so many people are going to say they do their 16-8, right? That's an 8-hour window of eating. Let's say that is 11 to 7. They'll just eat 1.5 meals. The majority of ladies do not digest food in that amount of time to even eat 2 meals, much less to say you get 3. So it means you're constantly an undereater and you're still not going to have the body you want. You might lose weight, some people, depending on how much junk food they ate before, but it's going to get real soft. And it's going to, yet again, not be what people say they want.
That's crazy because I know when I think about intermittent fasting, it's like you're only eating a couple hours a day. And I think about when I was in a bad habit of just like working all day, I'll have my coffee and then I have my one meal at night. I'm like, why I'm not losing weight? This is basically intermittent fasting.
That's my
But
life.
it's not the same thing.
And it's not. But this is what people do, though. They think that's what happens. Yeah. All it does is it gives you inconsistent hormone control. You pretty angry. Most people are very temperamental. They're very temperamental and they're very fatigued. Have headaches. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. And it's like, it's a mistake. But if you use it the right way, it's wonderful because it can help people who have a tendency to be really snacky. Just curtail it a little bit and just stop.
You ain't snacking on carrots. You snacking on them Reese's cups.
That's right. Exactly.
Why are you? Okay.
I was talking
so
to myself.
Okay. Why you in my
refrigerator? The Reese's cups were at my house. I don't know if you remember where you ate them. They were in my house.
All right. So the next one, this is actually really popular. So detox diets are cleanses. God. They are necessary and they get rid of your body toxins and they should be a part of your rotation.
100% cap. 100% cap.
Okay.
Now, I get it. There are going to be people who, no matter what you say, they want to do it. And I get it. I help people do them because you can't tell people not to.
Yeah.
But understand what they're for. They're not going to help you lose weight. They're not going to help your body detox. That's why we have kidneys and livers, y'all. Your body, listen, look, I'm looking every camera. That's why we have a kidney and liver because they detox all on their own.
Oh.
So what happens when you do that? When you do that, people think, oh my God, like, you know, I lost so much weight, I felt better. Of course you did. Because on the detox, you probably was juicing. You were eating fruits and vegetables in your juice, which you got off your coffee. Because in the detox, you got to get off your coffee. You're going to get off the processed food. So why would you not feel better? Of course you felt better. But don't say it's just because of the detox. No, it's because you took all the trash away. But it is not necessary in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes it's a preference. I get it. Sometimes people do it for religious reasons. You got to know why you're doing what you're doing.
You probably have 5 pounds of shit.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, it just depends on why you're doing what you're doing.
Carla broke a water fast with a 7-Eleven hot dog once.
See, this what I be...
First of all,
wait. Why you telling my business?
Which one? I break every day. It was something stupid.
She was like, "Yeah, girl, I did 3 whole days." And then I'm like, "What are you eating?" She's like, "Oh, 7-Eleven hot dog."
I just have the way she feels about McDonald's. I feel about 7-Eleven hot dogs.
Oh my God.
And taquitos. They be so good. Ooh, they be so good.
All right. So the next one, there's no such thing as too much fruit. You can eat as much fruit as you want whenever you want. Fact or cap?
I'm looking again.
With pierced lips.
Sometimes when I send them my scale.
Listen, ladies. Everybody need fruit because we got the other extreme who thinks that you can't eat fruit at all. But it is 100% cap that you can eat as much as you want. Not true. Now, here's the catch. If you want to look a certain way, you can. If you want to be as healthy as possible, you still can. Because again, remember what I said earlier around people's body and the way your genetics are going to express. They're going to be people who have high sugar. And if you're not somebody who is very active, lifting weights, having a walking schedule, going to sleep, you're going to see that sugar show up. And regardless of you, like, these are good carbs, they are, and they're healthy for you, but it still can be too much for your body.
Mm.
And so we have to know individual body and what you need. And sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I like that.
So this one's personal for me because I do think, okay, so food cravings are your body's way of telling you that you're deficient in something and you need it. So like salt on McDonald's fries or chocolate when my period finna come on. So is that true? Yes, I still get a period and I crave chocolate.
You know what? You
and I feel like that's
I got 2 more years.
I feel like that's my body telling me I'm deficient. Factor
What?
cap. Chocolate.
So double. This is gonna be fact and cap.
You so full of shit. You so full of
But we're not gonna say that it's the chocolate and
Yeah.
and the French fries.
You're not
okay?
deficient in chocolate.
But people who crush the ice, right?
Oh, yeah. That's
people
iron,
hear that's
right?
the iron. Or sometimes people will crave red meat.
Mhm.
It's a low iron. Sometimes people who crave, or you hear the people who eat wood particles.
The fuck?
Yes,
Mental health.
Yes, no, it's a deficiency. And look, y'all don't quote me right now. I gotta pull my notes. Sometimes it's a deficiency in like silica. There's things that people can be missing that will push them towards certain things. So in general, those are on the extreme side. The other part about just cravings, honestly, for most ladies, the cravings can truly show up. Number one, because it's just habit. It's what you've always done. It's been your coping mechanism.
It might be an addiction.
Yep. It's just how you cope. And then the other part is usually people lack the right amount of protein, so they crave sugary carbs.
Oh.
And so once we take care of the right amount of protein, you usually don't see those things show up anymore.
Okay.
I don't know if I have cravings. I just want to eat it all.
Yeah, she don't have to be hungry to eat.
Yep.
Okay, so my last factor cap is about drinking coffee on an empty stomach. This is also asking for a friend, just saying. So is it okay to drink coffee on an empty stomach, or does it like hinder your body from?
Because they say to have
nutrients?
8 ounces of water before coffee.
Or a cup of lemon water. They say sometimes, like, yeah.
So water all day is always good, no matter what. Most people will start their morning with some water, but the coffee is not going to hurt you on an empty stomach at all. But here's the catch with the coffee. And ladies who are listening, again, you got to know your body. Those of you who have a lot of fibroids, who got fibrous breast tissue, coffee's not your friend, right? And we try to ignore. They do, and especially women of color, and specifically, it's going to be Black women. Specifically, more fibrous breast tissue and a lot more dangerous or a more aggressive fibroids. Coffee is not helpful. So you got to be very mindful. And then coffee is a diuretic. And so a lot of people who drink larger amounts of coffee, remember, it's gonna cause you to pee it out, basically. Either it's gonna help you go to number 2, right? It's gonna help you go, or you're gonna pee it out. And so then sometimes when we take people's coffee away, they find out they always constipated.
Yes.
Because they don't eat enough fiber, right? And so we got to be mindful and understand like what's really going on.
That's crazy. Because coffee nothing makes me go other than 3 ballerina tea.
Yeah, she's always had a problem going.
But it's been better. It's been better lately.
Yeah.
Much, much better. I think stress.
You're taking like a fiber supplement.
I just
now,
need to get rid of these
boys. They stressing you out?
Yeah.
No.
Once I got rid of them, my colon started moving a little bit faster.
And listen, and we, although we can laugh about it, that is a lot of reason why many ladies are constipated. Very much like a stressful environment, and it shows up.
Stress constipates you?
Yeah, it will show up through their intestines.
All growing up.
Really?
Yes. Some people who have had like maybe trauma, like abusive households, people who yell a lot, people who have had like a lot of angry like fighting in their house, they tense up when they eat.
I was.
Yes.
Are you reading something?
No, I know. Listen,
Crazy.
remember, I've been doing this a long time, and studies will show.
My whole time knowing her, and
Since
all these things, these trauma, this yelling, all that.
My norm was to go to the bathroom every 4
and
to 5
to hide.
days.
And so
4 to 5 days.
Because think about this, for a lot of people, and especially most people, constipation starts when they're kids. And it usually is not just a food problem. It is like a household problem. And so some kids hide in the bathroom. Some kids hide in the bathroom, like if their parents argue a lot, or it's their safe place and they don't associate with going to the bathroom, and they'll hold it and they really tense up.
Wow.
And so you have to really deal with that. And it's almost like trapped. And so this is why you can hear a lot of people say, like large amounts of fibroids can be stress related. And when we handle that part, they just start to release and you can gradually like expel them from your body and shrink them.
Wow. But it's
no,
so
legitimately.
True.
It's 100%
I
legitimate.
felt it, but I never researched it. But I'm like, I feel like with my household being now so quiet and like my house is just so different than what it was before. Even me, like, I still yell here and there, but it's nowhere close to where I used to be at before. Even with song, I felt like having a kid with autism might make most people get even more shut out and yell even more. I'm even more like, okay.
Yeah. And now you're pooping a lot better.
Yeah. When you just let it go.
You're just letting it go.
Listen, you gotta let it go. I know. On purpose, on the pun. Yes.
Let it go.
Yeah. And people they relax. They start to relax.
That. I definitely want like a whole clip on that because I had no idea that my stress and the environment that I was coming from is what was holding me back from like.
You was clenching your booty hole.
Clenched. Tight. I always said I had a cork screw up my booty.
Oh wow.
And it's like I had to pull it out like a wine bottle. It's like, did somebody get a corkscrew and like get it out?
But here's the deal. It can be in children and people who've had it forever, but you also notice it in women who are in their 40s when they get really, really stressed and it's a new part of life that they just don't know how to navigate. Wow. That's the first thing that happens.
Did you get constipated when you turned 40? No. Good. You're living a stress-free life because people pay your bills.
I got a little fat, but not constipated. All right. Nitra, is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Well, first of all, thank you ladies for having me.
Yes.
But definitely want to plug, number one, if you are somebody who is looking to transform your life and you feel like this is the time to do it and you in that age range, you in that 40 to 55 age range and you feel like I just don't know how to do it, reach out to me. You can go on my site, Nutrition with Netra, and you can message me there. That's number one. Number two, if you feel like maybe you're not sure and you just really want to be a part of a community, you can join my subscription service. It is a menopause community specifically. So you can do that. And then
can it
also,
be perimenopause?
Yep, peri to post. So usually it's going to be 40 to past 50. Sometimes it's 30s. 37 on, you can join the community. But then also if you are someone who feels like, you know what, I just need to learn how to crush it in the gym. I need to know what to make. You can also order my cookbook on my page. It's the link in my bio.
Awesome.
I think that out of all of this, I want us to have something where our girls are listening. We're sitting here. You mentioned it. She mentioned it. Let's just do a walking challenge.
Oh, that would be cool. We should start a walking challenge.
It's Women's Month. Summer's coming up. We're trying to be in thong. It's thong season.
Yeah.
You know, Carla's gonna give us some more
We'll share something on the social media.
Yeah.
We'll do a walking challenge. I think that would be great.
If you do your 10K, when you do your review on Apple Podcasts, because I know you're finna do it, girl. So when you do your review on Apple Podcasts, just let us know, hey, I did 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
You know, and it is. Before we leave, is that a thing? Is 10,000 steps something that we should have as a goal daily?
It is a nice goal, but everybody doesn't have to. For a lot of people, honestly, it's just getting a 7. But here's the catch. Because some of you will say, well, I'm already at 7. We talking about active steps, not your daily steps.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I hear people saying, oh, but I walked around the house
no,
and
it's like, no. And you're like, no. Because that's what you normally do. And I try to tell people, your 6,000 is par for the course. That's that's just your normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Right? Or people who work in hospitals or schools. They're like, well, I walk 10,000 steps every day anyway. No. That's just what you do. We're talking about beyond that. Yeah. Actual activity, intentional activity. You got to get at least 6 to 7 in intentional activity. And so if you get 10, then we stellar.
Yeah.
It's like you're overachiever.
Yeah. I love that.
I like
that. So
Netra,
every week we do we share a feel good, just something that's making us feel good. I'm going to share one. Carla will share one. If you have something that you want to share, you can. It could be a book, a recipe, a podcast, anything you want. Okay. So my feel good of the week is this nighttime routine that I've started.
What's that?
So I bought a red light panel.
There it is.
Oh, you've been using it.
Yeah. So first of all, I shut down my phone by 8:15, 8:30. I put myself on Do Not Disturb and I get off of my phone. I was doing that when we were working out last summer, got out of the habit, got back into it because my phone is really something that keeps me up. So I start to wind down at like a little bit after 8. I take my shower. I sit butt naked in front of my red light panel, spread eagle.
Do it.
I'm trying to, reverse agent on all of it. And then I get my little glass of tart cherry juice and magnesium.
Oh, I have to order mine.
And I drink that. And it's just such a nice way to wind down. And then I do like a little puzzle.
You're such an old lady. I love it. This is what we strive to do. Like this is what we want to
make me feel like really good. And then I do my skincare because I got the neck cream I told you I was gonna get. I got me a little neck tightening cream, girl. I got my retinol. I'm ready.
You gotta do it.
So funny.
And since you just talked about the wind down, y'all can at Apothecary, they have a little dropper. It's called Wind Down for ladies who used to drink wine and you're like, I realize I need to cut back. It's a way to make you feel like you got a little spritzer, but it's called Wind Down.
Oh, really?
Ooh, that's cute.
Apothecary.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, before I got one more question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
What Poppy? I've really been loving this Poppy drink, and she told me I shouldn't be drinking it.
It's not as good for
I
you as they
thought-
make it seem.
It said probiotics, and I was like, I thought I was being so healthy. So it's these carbonated.
It's better than a soda, but it's not great for you.
Well, let's say this. It's better than a soda, but if you are trying to choose between a water, it's not better than you drinking water, but it is better than you drinking soda.
I don't drink soda, but that was like my.
That's your thing. Like,
But
it didn't become my thing. I think maybe for like the last 2 weeks since I
That you
discovered it.
started?
I was like, I bought like 4
Right.
and drink them every other day, but then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't.
It doesn't do anything for you.
So the probiotic ain't really that
It's not as,
probiotic.
look, it's not as, exactly. It's not as strong as someone
It's not
would
enough
say.
to do anything.
It's really
Yeah.
not. However, it's a nice alternative and you like it. Maybe it's like your dinner thing.
Yeah, it's like a
Do
little
it. That's your
I know-
little
I-
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know we
your
said we was
thing.
going to cut off, but like Netra, I could talk to you all day. That's one thing that I did learn from Netra. Like, you think when you're trying to live a healthy lifestyle or like lose weight, you got to cut off all the joy out of your life. And Netra is very much like there's a balance, right?
You did not
Like,
look happy for those 16 weeks, friend.
I was so happy.
Them 16 weeks, you were stressing with
At
the
your
food.
birthday, when I had my little sparkling water with the mint and stuff, I was so happy because I was like, "But these
Netra.
abs is coming."
Listen,
I was
exactly.
okay. I was so
she
happy.
also ate cake.
That's okay.
It was
It
a
was a
birthday.
little piece.
But that's
And that's what I told her. Okay,
Yes.
good.
It's her birthday. Like, it's about
No, you did
balance.
do
You
it.
don't
You
like
did.
cut all the joy out of your life.
You're right,
to
you're
get
right.
To that health.
Listen,
You
I
wait
just
for those
did.
days.
Yeah.
I did an interview earlier today, and I was talking about that. Like, that's the one thing that people feel like to be healthy means that you don't get to enjoy things.
Yeah.
That's not true. And that's because that's how we did it when we was 20 and
Right.
30. You got to cut it all out.
Mhm.
You ain't
Right.
doing nothing because you like, I'm going to drop these 5 pounds like
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everything
But
was extreme.
It's extreme. But at this point in your life, extreme things don't work well.
Okay.
And you can't maintain it. And so you always want to be able to do the things that you can maintain. So it means in general, you're going to eat a certain way 80, 90% of your life. And then the other stuff is the free-for-alls. It's
Okay.
like, let it go.
Yeah,
I
you
like
can
it.
have your poppy, but eat like a balanced dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. For the rest of the questions we have, we're just signing up for the
Yeah.
subscriptions and shit.
What's
you
your
know what
feel good? Do you have one?
I'm saying? My feel good is, I think my morning routines have been really good for me.
Oh yeah.
Just waking up early, just getting
Same.
that chair, sitting down, praying, doing my devotional, and then now Psalm. He used to get up, look at me, go back to sleep. Now he want to be in the chair with me. I'm like, come on, man.
praying
Like,
with
what's wrong with you?
you.
Move. But now he sits there with me and does the devotional with me and then spreads over. So my mornings, again, it's only been 21 days, 28 days. So yeah.
Okay.
My
You gotta
mornings.
feel good.
I love it. I was thinking about it. I do though. You know what? I don't usually watch much TV, and I know it's gonna sound really silly. I don't watch much TV, but over the last couple months, I'm just like, I gotta have like a day that I just don't do anything.
I love that.
And so, like,
That's
usually
good.
for me, it's Friday night because that day is like ridiculous for
Yeah.
me. And so, Friday night, I don't do anybody's work, nothing. It's my time just to veg out and watch a little bit of TV.
What you watch?
Y'all gonna laugh.
it's nothing
The
bad.
Family Business on BET. Listen, I have watched every episode of The Family Business. It's so cheesy, but I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just watch a little bit of TV.
I love that.
It's
Netra's
like, I
one of those
need
people
it.
who's gonna feel every minute of her day.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know
too
what I mean?
packed.
Wow.
It's too packed, and it's like you just gotta let it go. And I'm just like, it's fine.
I love
I'm watching
that.
TV.
I
That's
want the
awesome.
cookbook and I also want the recipe for the tuna thing.
Yes.
So
We
I
can
want
handle
that.
it. We
Mhm.
can
I'm gonna make sure I
share
buy
it
it.
with you.
All right.
All right.
Well,
you
we
wanna
have
review before we head
a
out?
review. Make sure you leave a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. Also, very important, Spotify. Spotify now opened where you can leave comments in each episode.
Yeah.
So while you're
So
listening, you can
when
leave
listen,
a
you can say
comment.
that Dex and Carla are beautiful. This is a thought-provoking podcast.
Yes.
Laughs
Yes.
every second.
You don't
all
know
of the
how you
things.
go the rest of the week without us.
Must listen.
You want us every day.
Yes.
That way Spotify gonna cut that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you normally Spotify comments, Apple reviews. Do them both if
Yes.
you got an Apple
Mhm.
phone.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna shout out Kendrita P.
Okay.
Have I read this one? I don't think I have. She says, love, short and sweet. Listening feels like I'm kicking it with my two homegirls. Love y'all.
I
love this. And that's really what it's all about. I want you guys to be sitting here with us as your homegirls.
Yes.
Wonderful.
We're having a good time. Spotify and Apple, make sure you leave those reviews. YouTube as well, make sure you leave right there. Please keep fighting them deadbeat daddies.
Yeah.
Them deadbeats are still
Leave
mad.
2 positive comments for every deadbeat dad comment.
And then
you
reply
see.
to them and be like, fine, get a life.
So, Nitra, before we head out, where can they find you?
Yes.
Go ahead and tag yourself.
Yes, so you can find me at Nutrition with Netra, and then some of you I know you on LinkedIn too. I'm not gonna forget about those if you're on LinkedIn. It is my full name, Anitra.Shuttleworth. And if you want me on TikTok, you can just type in my name as well.
We're gonna link
And we will
everything
link you
in
in
the
the
show
description.
notes.
Yes,
Yep.
I do the description every Sunday.
She does. What a producer we have here. So everything that we talk about during the show, we'll make sure that it's in the show notes so you can find it quickly and easily. And you can meet up with us. So we'll see you back next week to, one more episode. We had 2 more episodes of Women's Month.
Love it.
I mean, it's year round. Because women make the
When is it
world
ever
go
about men?
round.
Never.
I'm gonna say.
Never. Let's get the hell up out of here and not think about these men. I'm hungry.
Catch you guys next
She
week.
said I gotta eat a carrot.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by Ford. Why is being open to new roads and possibilities essential to success when chasing your goals? For me, it's so important to pivot. It's imperative to allow yourself the freedom to change course at any moment when your energy is shifting. When you literally pivot, doors open up, opportunities fall on your lap, and you have so much more time to spend with your loved ones and with yourself. So break free from your day-to-day and start enjoying the little things in life that truly bring you joy. On the road of reinventing ourselves, it's just as vital to find those little things in life that give you a sense of stability, like the new Explorer. You know there's more to discover, and the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV is here to give you space for the things that matter most. It's time to break free from the norm, which has never been more fun and accessible for drivers with the 2025 Ford Explorer SUV. Turn up the adventure with Ford Digital Experience, including a 13.2-inch center touchscreen. Do what matters with the help of available Ford Blue Cruise driver assist technology for hands-free highway driving. Available feature on Blue Cruise equipped vehicles. Blue Cruise requires a connected service plan and a modem activation. Blue Cruise drive assist features can be activated in hands-free blue zones and do not replace safe driving, and drivers need to control the vehicle. See Ford.com/Blue Cruise for more details on available plans and hands-free models. Start your next adventure in America's all-time best-selling SUV. Based on S&P Global Mobility, 1946 current U.S. total, new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs. The new Ford, well, you know what it is. It's on the name, the new 2025 Ford Explorer, built Ford proud.